been your favourite bit of kit, or perhaps the best investment you've made down your years as a groundsman?
Without a doubt, the best investment that we've made was in our grinders. We've got Bernard grinders. We couldn't afford a new set, but we bought an old reconditioned set.
Yep.
And that really has yielded benefits across the board. We constantly have a zero contact cut now on our machines. So as soon as anything has any contact, it's back on for a quick spin grind. And of course the grass is healthier and happier for that, because the grass is a person, not a plant. It's happy. But the grass is better off for that. It uses less water, less fertiliser. The appearance is better. The machines last longer. We're spending less on maintenance, etc., etc. So I think that's the most important thing we've bought, without a doubt.
Favourite bit of kit?
It's got to be the ATT units, the Advanced Turf Technology units. We demoed the Infini mower, the little pedestrian mower, about 4 years ago, and liked it a lot, particularly the Ultra Groomer and the effect it has on wickets for grooming the sward. But we also needed to replace our outfield mower because the units were shot or in poor condition. So about 4 years ago we bought the ATT units and fitted them to our Jacobson Super Light Fairway mower. They've got groomers on them. It's a greens quality cut. We mow at 8mm on the outfield during the season, which is pretty short, but we've got a density that allows us to do that. Yep. So it's a quick outfield, but it's not stupid quick. So they've been great units. They're nice to work on. The after-sales support is superb. They've got a few nice little design features that you won't find on other mowers. And again, we have the Ultra Groomer cassettes that we can slot into the outfield mower and verticut the outfield or groom the outfield in a relatively short space of time. So we've just bought, finally after 4 years of trying, we've just bought the Infini mower for the square, and hopefully that will be with us by the time this goes to press.
Well, that'll be branded as Cub Cadet now, I think, as it's coming into the country.
Yeah, it's Cub Cadet, the yellow thing. But yeah, they're an exciting company. There's some brilliant guys. John Coleman is a great designer. Vinny Tarbox, marketing. They're just great guys to deal with. I'm not alone in thinking that Wimbledon have just swapped all their Taros out for the Infini mowers. So the great mowers. So that's my favourite bit of kit. After that, it's the Lloyd's Paladin. We have two Lloyd's Paladins. We actually bought one of them last year from a club that was getting rid of it. It was this ancient thing, and that's now our main pitch mower at the moment. I like them that much. We can service them in house. We can grind them. Their after sales service is second to none, genuinely second to none. You order something, the parts are there the next day, without exception. So I like the Paladins, and I particularly like them for cutting a cricket wicket, a pitch. You can knock the clutch off and push them and all sorts of things. So, yeah, my favourite bit of kit.
One of the things that seems to be happening in almost every sport now is the adoption and the clamour to look at in more detail artificial surfaces, hybrid surfaces. Where do you stand on that in terms of cricket and artificial wickets in particular? It's
a difficult question. It's a very emotive issue for groundsmen, artificial pitches. The question really needs to be, should cricket be played on natural turf or artificial pitches? I'm a groundsman, I'm always going to favour natural turf. But artificial does offer certain things in certain circumstances. But if you're asking me if I think we should be playing first class cricket on artificial pitches, no, I don't. It's been mooted that we might play 2020 cricket on artificial pitches in the future, and it's only something that's been explored as an option, and it's probably an option that's worth looking at. But ultimately, you're asking the wrong guy. You need to be asking the ECB.
Right.
It's like asking turkeys to vote for Christmas, in my opinion. It would be a great shame, I think, if we played any sort of elite sport on plastic pitches. Nobody likes them. The artificial turf lobby has done a great job in the marketing, but I sense that it's not for cricket really. It won't happen on outfields, I don't think, just because of the sheer cost, although there's no reason why you couldn't. But again, I don't think people would enjoy playing on artificial pitches. The argument for artificial pitches for 2020 means that it simplifies things in terms of TV camera placement. It also takes some of the pressure off the square if there's a busy fixture schedule. But my personal feeling is that perhaps we ought to explore some of the technology that's out there to grow better grass pitches and to make them more sustainable. And the technology in terms of lighting rigs, climate control, things like that, really hasn't been explored in cricket yet. Mainly because we haven't needed it, necessity being the mother of invention.
Sure.
But I think we might be entering a phase where we do need that technology, and we probably need some investment from somewhere to help us explore it, because cricket clubs are not really very wealthy in terms of other sports. But that's something I feel quite passionate about, that we need to start exploring, certainly light rigs, if not full climate control.
So the grow tents and the lighting rigs, they do come at a cost, and as you're quite right there, most clubs don't have big budgets. How do you think that could be tackled then?
I think a large part of it is, as I said, there needs to be a need for it in the first place. So currently there hasn't been so much of a need for it, but I've got this vision almost where you could have a tunnel that went over a pitch that was big enough to mow under, roll under. You could park it on the pitch, create ideal conditions, and prepare a pitch, take the weather out of it entirely. So you could prepare a pitch potentially in 5 or 6 days,
Right.
and really monitor the pitch and know what it's going to do. We've been exploring, and we've all been using on the first class circuit clag hammers this year, or last year, along with theta probes, so we're measuring moisture. So as time goes on, we'll have more and more data on each individual pitch as to what works well in terms of hardness and moisture content. And the next natural step is to take the weather out of things and to try and create turf pitches using the technology that does exist. So I think if there's felt to be a need, and perhaps the plastic lobby might put pressure on the turf lobby to do this, but if there's felt to be a need, suddenly it becomes important. So suddenly, at the moment, a new tractor is important to a groundsman, and you'll find 20 grand for a new tractor, or you'll find 15 grand for a roller. Suddenly, if you've got to find 30 grand for a grow tunnel or whatever you want to call it, I think really it's the attitude of the groundsman that needs to change. And it's not a criticism. I think it's if the groundsman doesn't want it, it won't happen. It's plain and simple. You could almost give things to some groundsmen and they won't have it if they don't believe in it, quite rightly so. So we may need some support from centrally, but my feeling is that perhaps if the groundsman wants it enough and the technology is demonstrated, then that's something that that probably will happen.